Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi, our loyal listeners.
Oh, Audrey, so we've got an idea.
Far away.
Do you mind starting this as if we are on a late night love song
Oh
radio
my God,
show?
I'm so slow.
And we are...
It is
Valentine's week.
Absolutely.
And we are like a romance helpline that people call at late hours at night.
Okay, sorry, scrap that. Scrap that hello. I'm going to be smoother. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the Receipts Podcast Radio after dark. We are here. It's Valentine's week. We hope all you lovers out there are doing what lovers do at this fine hour. The rain is pouring. The drinks should be drinking. And we hope that you are all well and dandy this lovely evening.
Nice.
Without further ado, let's introduce ourselves.
It's your girl, Tolly T.
And just call me Audrey.
Ow.
Ow.
Wow.
Ow. Ow.
Wow.
It's Valentine's Day week, y'all.
Why has that ever been sexy?
I don't know. It's not sexy. That is not sexy. I am so sorry. That is not sexy. That is not attractive. But what it is Valentine's week.
It is Valentine's week.
Do you know what really bloody annoys me?
Please
people that still say Valentine's. Like, fucking get it together. A lot of people say Valentine's. It's so jarring. And there's this TikToker I follow. She makes such good content and I love her takes. But the other day she said Valentine's Day, so I had to unfollow her.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here now.
I had to unfollow her.
You know
Everything
who I thought
about you was true. It was not true. But yeah.
What's been your best Valentine's Day? Have you had a really good Valentine's Day?
I'm not really big on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you're not that
I don't mind it. But have I? Yeah. Do you know what? It's always very basic. Like, I don't want to like shit on Nick or anything like that, but we do celebrate. Like, he's very good at there's chocolates that I love, and they're the Thornton's one, the pink ones,
truffle,
and they're pink truffle, pink strawberry truffle.
Then I know my girl.
White chocolate, exactly those chocolates. I love them. It's the only time of the year I get them, and I'll get flowers and stuff like that. And I am genuinely like really happy that one time I had like a more lavish Valentine's Day. That night, I also found out he was cheating.
Oh my God, same.
So,
oh my God.
I don't know, maybe I'm scarred.
My best Valentine's Day was then hit with cheating. Oh my God, I remember it so... let me tell you how bad it was. No, this was bad. So it was lovely, booked a hotel, whatever. Like, the girl he was cheating on me with was then pregnant. Now listen.
Fuck's sake.
And she said to him, if this is the best thing you say out loud. She said to him, if he goes to the hotel with her instead of me, he should get rid of the baby.
What kind of threat is that?
So let's just say he has a kid with her.
My God. That is very wicked.
But I found that out after a lovely, we had swapped gifts, we'd got a hotel, and then I was like, oh.
Come to find out.
But yeah, I don't think, I've had like dinners.
Yeah,
nothing has ever been like, wow.
I've never walked into a room full of roses or like a heart-shaped rose display or anything like that. But yeah, like we'll go out, I don't necessarily need a gift or anything like that. Like I'm cool with like my card and chocolates and,
I'm fine with flowers because it's not
flowers,
just my holiday. Like, it's not my birthday. Like,
yeah,
it's
exactly. It's essentially a national holiday. But my cheating story on Valentine's, it was my ex. To be fair, I don't even know if I can really claim it because my day this was technically the 13th. But what he did was he came to mine at the 14th at midnight.
So you felt like,
I felt like, oh my
sweet.
God. I had no idea he was going to skedaddle that same night.
Spend the whole day with his actual girlfriend.
and be ghost the whole day. So he basically came to mine, picked me up. He was like, be ready by midnight. Blah, blah, blah. I was so gassed. And
so where did he take you at midnight? Tinseltown?
Chinatown.
Yeah, okay. I was like, what the fuck else can you take someone at midnight?
He took me to Chinatown and we went to this really nice restaurant. And do you know what he gave me? He gave me a wad of cash. It was like £450.
I would have fucking
I don't know why he didn't just round it up to 500, but he gave me a wad of cash. He bought me the biggest bunch of roses, chocolates, everything. We went to eat at this really nice restaurant. Went back to mine. I was at uni at the time. This was my ex-boyfriend. Slept for a couple of hours and he was gone by 6 a.m. Like, gone by 6 a.m. And then conveniently, I couldn't get through to him the whole day, but I wasn't savvy to men and their nonsense back then. I was still very young. Like, now, you could never in your life try and do that to me and I'm not going to put two and two together. But back then, I really didn't. In my mind, we celebrated, we did what needed to be done. Like, I just didn't.
You didn't think anything of it?
I just didn't register, yeah. Now I look back in hindsight, I realised what was actually happening. He was basically cheating on me the whole time. And that was my whole actual boyfriend.
How much do you think he gave the other girl?
If I got that, she probably got a fucking spa day. She probably got, I don't know,
A grand in cash.
Do you know what I mean? Double what I got in cash. But yeah, that was my best and worst Valentine's Day. Yeah, it's quite sad, isn't it? Oh.
Yeah, I had such a lovely time that day, and it was quickly
ruined.
ruined.
I hate that for us.
But yeah, I'm not, like, I like it, but it's not a thing of you have to go all out.
Yeah.
A card, flowers.
And you should do something for him as well. Like, as in get him a card at least.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What's a flower equivalent gift for guys though?
Aftershave.
No, that's a lot more than flowers.
No, it's true.
Do you know that's some full good
men's
it's like 250 pounds.
Good men's thing is like, you're spending 150
Yeah, for someone to have
above
got me flowers,
yeah,
flowers, £49.
Yeah, no. That's not a good equivalent. That's actually kind of mad that they don't actually have an equivalent.
Just buy them flowers as well.
Yeah, just get them flowers, innit? Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it? Probably don't have a vase, tramps.
Yeah, definitely do. They just about have pillowcases.
Like actual tramps.
Let alone vases.
Oh my God, have you ever been to a house like only one set of pillows have pillowcases and the one underneath is just a pillow bareback?
And it's brown.
It's this
like tea bag. It's like a tea bag. Them tea bag pillows.
Flat, nothing. Why is it? It looks
it's
like
tea bag.
Do you remember in school we could make paper look old? My tea bags.
Oh yeah, and then you used to think, oh my God, why did you do that?
You would cycle it back in hot water
and it would make it look like it was like.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
If you was really savvy, you burned the edges on the cooker.
Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my shit.
That was such a good time.
No, we used to be creative.
Life was so
we
good.
Actually used to be creative. Now you can just print it off ChatGPT or whatever.
No,
but
that was
we actually had to do
the
shit.
best of times. And you had to time it perfectly because I used to love writing in fountain pen. So you used to let the pen dry because if you just put the ink on it like this, it will now smudge. You now ruined everything.
Exactly. No, what a time. What a time.
And I'll take the paper to my mum's cooker and be like,
proper do the edges and burn the edges. Those letters were supposed to look like they'd really been through
life.
Some things.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it was always like your history homework.
Yeah, always history homework. Always. Oh man, the kids today, you don't know.
Anyway, sorry, that's not what we're here for. We are here for your receipts,
Indeed.
which are where you guys send us your dilemmas, your things, and we try to help you out. You good to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hi, lovely ladies. First of all, as customary, thank you both for all that you are. Hilarious in your wiseness, best communicating entertainment, and most of all, the big sisters some of us don't get to have. Thank you. Now, onto my dilemma. I'm an African girl, firstborn of African parents.
Okay.
I'm second generation, nearing 30, born and raised in a European country.
First of my kind.
And moved some years ago to another European country for work, where I met my adorable partner of 5 years, native to that country, and we lived together. We have the same vision for the future and have a timeline in place for a marriage in the close future.
Okay.
However, throughout my childhood, I have not kept tight links with my African roots and traditions and only travelled back, quote unquote, home once in my life. We, my sisters and I, have done incredible work to integrate in country A, so the first country they moved in, excelled academically and have great international careers to show for it. I speak my ethnic language and speak periodically with family members still living in the continent, but that's it. Understandably, given how little I mention my African background and traditions, my partner has not picked an interest in it and rarely refers to it. I often feel like it is not on mainstream or attractive, accessible to foreigners as, let's say, Asian or Indian cultures. Is that true? The issue now is in two folds. Marriage. Although my partner has met my parents, lived in country A couple of times, the fact that we are living together out of wedlock is not appreciated and hidden from other family members still on the continent. My partner has expressed the intention to inform my parents of our intention to marry, and knowing my parents, they want this to be done in our traditional African way, which I, and understandably my partner, don't know much about. They will also insist on having a formal traditional wedding, and I don't know how I feel about that. I, of course, identify as a national of the African country, but I'm also quite removed from those traditions on a day-to-day basis. For lack of exposure and fear that I won't be able to identify with such a ceremony, especially. Done abroad, far from my African extended family. Furthermore, both my partner and I shy away from being the centre of attention and will be more comfortable with an intimate wedding in country B where we live. that is not too costly. You will understand that this is not the image of an African wedding my parents have in mind, but I also know that weddings are mostly about families and the bragging rights that comes in it, and not so much about the couple. I don't agree with that. Any idea on how I can compromise between something that makes me and my partner comfortable while still having some of my parents' wishes? Offspring. We both want children. This is the second issue. Offspring. We both want children in the future and plan to live in the country B, where I am now, raising our kids triculturally and bilingually. I have come to terms that the fact that I will not be able to pass on my ethnic language as I have lost fluency over the years and will be incapable of teaching to someone else. Regarding culture, how could I go about transmitting a bit of my African roots to our future children as they also navigate between the country A and B? And with limited opportunity to visit my African country of origin, should the security situation not improve? Many thanks in advance for your guidance and love from country B. Okay. So she's African, and the first problem is that her parents will want a traditional wedding, which she doesn't want. I'm not of the belief that the wedding is for the family necessarily, especially when we're the one paying for it.
Yeah.
I feel like it should, obviously I want my family there, I want them to be a part of it and all of that, but I'm not going to do things just for them for something that is my day, right? The hope is that I don't do this another time, that this is a special day to me and it means a lot to me, and I don't necessarily believe in a people-pleasing in that part of it. I think if you don't want a big traditional African wedding, but it sounds like you're still willing to be like, you want some aspect of it, there's things that you can do. You can change an outfit. So at one point you wear an outfit that is of your African heritage. You can do like a bit where, I don't know, certain cultures have a thing where the parents sit in high chairs, or there is like an African dance or whatever. There's ways to incorporate your African heritage in it without having a big African traditional wedding, if that's not what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. No notes. You just have to incorporate elements. I totally agree. So I'll try and tackle the second one. I think that with the whole kids thing, I understand the language thing, because if you don't speak it fluently, of course, like, you won't be expected to pass that on to your children. But I think that we can basically apply Tolly's advice about the wedding to the situation with the kids in a way. Like, you can still teach your culture. You can still hang on to your culture. I feel like culture is maintained by how much you want to maintain it at the end of the day. And I don't even think you necessarily have to be born into it and know it from top to bottom, but you can still learn. I feel like there's this thing of like, because it's innate to us or because it's where we're originally from, we're supposed to automatically know it. Yeah. You still have to learn. You can still learn. There's nothing wrong with asking questions, speaking to the elders in your family, reading, Googling, doing whatever it is you need to do to understand traditions that you want to bring into how you raise your children. And if it's something that's important to you, then I can't stress enough that you take that on board, because at the end of the day, your partner's never going to do it. And not that you're expecting him to, but it's going to be your responsibility. And they always say, especially like in mixed relationships, that the mum holds the culture. Well, just in any relationship, mums hold on to the culture. So I think that if it's something that you're absolutely adamant about, then you have to take it upon yourself to learn about your culture and your tradition so that you can pass that on to your children. And there's absolutely no reason why your children can't be of mixed heritage and still have a firm and strong understanding of who they are and where their mum comes from and what their roots are and what their origins are. And if your partner wants to do the same, then absolutely. And, that child is of dual heritage. So, but I think it's on you.
I think it's on you also, but also you don't have to be the one to teach them. For example, my niece and nephew are in Yoruba classes. Me and my sister speak Yoruba, whatever, but we probably don't know how to teach it. I don't know how to teach
different
Yoruba.
To teaching.
Yeah. Like I know how to speak it because my mum didn't let us speak English. Like I literally was not allowed to speak English in my household. So I had to, as soon as I entered that door, the Yoruba brain had to come in and I would be stuttering. And she'll sit there, like whenever you can say, you can say. Even till now, I still stutter. So I would speak to someone and like, oh my gosh, you're so fluent in this. My mum said, her mum was like, oh God, this girl and her crap Yoruba. So it's like, even now that as soon as I go into my mum's house, I start speaking Yoruba. I talk to my mum on the phone, I start speaking Yoruba because she was so adamant that we were not going to lose that thing. And I think the culture, I'm actually quite scared about us now. Yeah. And that how we've kind of like gone into like, we've moved abroad, we're in the diaspora. I wonder how much we're going to allow our kids to still have that thing, right? Yeah. And even sometimes I speak about Nigeria, there's certain schools there that don't allow kids to speak Yoruba or speak Nigerian language because it's like you have to speak English there or we follow the English curriculum. So it's just like what holds these things, right? What holds the culture? What holds the language? And I do think things like I'm not too sure what your language is, but you can get teachers to teach that.
Absolutely.
The same way that we're like, oh, get people to teach your kids French or Mandarin or all these other languages. Yeah, of course, useful, but there's also nothing wrong with your kids knowing how to speak your home language.
Yeah, just for the sake of
Just
holding
to
on
be
for
able to-
culture.
exactly.
Not because they even necessarily have to use it elsewhere or it's going to be beneficial, whatever. Just to hold on to culture, like 100%.
Like there's certain things that I still do today that's like, oh, that is a cultural thing that is just in me because of how I was brought up, and it's something that I would like to uphold. And also what I find really sad is that like sometimes with tradition, the good things, right? The good things of tradition and culture, when someone dies, it goes with them. There's always like a big mummy or a grandma or something, and they're the ones that used to hold that thing together. And now they're gone. We don't do that anymore. Like one thing I know that I definitely want to do, and I hope carries on for the rest of my generations, is naming ceremonies. I think they are so regal and so amazing. And even of recent, I said it to you that I was like, I'm not giving my kids English name. I've always, my whole life, was going to give my kids English name. I thought about it. And I was like, actually, no, I want to give them Yoruba names because you're not English. Like, why? Like, as in, I want you to have these Yoruba names. And also because for me, Yoruba names have such deep meanings that it's really important to me to pass that on. So even if you want to pass your culture in a name, their middle name, just something that can still withhold. And I also think it's cool as fuck. I have an image in my kids would be like some kind of cool as fuck artist and like them like signing their Yoruba name and their artwork. I'm like, yeah, let's go, baby. So that's like my fantasy. But yeah, in a name, give them a middle name that is from your culture. Let them know. Even if you can teach them certain words, this is how you say hello, this is how you say hi. So when they speak to their grandparents or people at home, they can still say those things. Absolutely. I think those things are worth. And also culture can be passed on so easily with food. Food like is such a great way to pass on culture. What you're eating, the flavors, the spices, how you're eating it. I think those things are so important, and those things are quite easier to pass on and not let it go away.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Because if I said I am a share will never leave me. A 4-year-old will never leave me. Those are things that I just think are important to pass on. Yeah, is what I'd say.
I totally agree. Next dilemma. Hi, girls.
Hi.
Just want to start off by saying I'm a huge fan.
Hi, thank you.
A friend put me on years ago and I've been obsessed ever since. I hope 2025 brings you both nothing but blessings and abundance.
Amen.
I will try my best to keep this short and sweet, but no promises. On to my dilemma.
She didn't keep it short and sweet.
I know, right?
Spoiler alert.
I can't believe I'm even typing this, but I think I want to cheat on my partner. I've been in a relationship for just over a year and I can say that I've been happy most of the time. However, the times where I'm not happy make me seriously question why I'm even in a relationship. I love my partner, but I don't know if he's the one. He's very attractive, he's funny, so sweet to me, but I'm not sure. I just feel like there's something missing. I find myself thinking all of the ways that he isn't for me, which is super unfair to him since he's been nothing but open and honest about the way he feels about me and does his best to showcase his love for me. Nonetheless, I feel like I need excitement and thrill and euphoria in my life that I'm sure he won't give me. Go on a roller coaster, hon.
Alton Towers.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know, but I need to feel something. I should probably mention that we have a 6-month-old baby boy who is the light of our lives, and I can't imagine my life without him. He is the best dad to our little boy, and I'm so grateful to have him in my life. But still, over the last few weeks, I've been needing more. Our sex life has always been great, but if I'm honest, I need amazing, and I'm just not getting that. He doesn't eat me out, and when I do ask, he says that he will, but he never does.
Eat a bitch out, man. Eat a bitch out.
He wants head all the time and sometimes I don't even finish. I keep having flashbacks of nights I spent with other guys, which makes me want to reach for my vibrator. And now that I've had our baby, to be honest, the sex is pretty much the same thing every time. I'd love for him to get excited, initiate some new or freaky, but he's not that type of person. And 99% of the time, I'm the one who's initiating sex. I need a jolt to bring me back to life. And to be honest, I've recently been thinking about getting back in touch with one of my exes. Please give me some advice before I do something I will later regret. I don't want to break up with my partner. I love him and I love our little family and I really see marriage in our future. Can you just have one more wild night with an ex and go back to normal life as if nothing happened? Do I just lock these thoughts in the far, far room in the back of my brain and just never ask to speak about it again? What would you do? Please help. Love you guys.
What would you do if your son was at home?
Sis, I'm never gonna advocate for you going and cheating on your partner. I'm just not gonna do that. I don't think it's the answer. And I feel like sometimes we get into these situations where we don't really want to address something, so we think of like an extreme reaction to itch a scratch. But at the end of the day, you can keep on scratching an itch, but if you don't get to the root of what's causing the itch, you're just going to keep scratching, baby. Do you know what I mean?
So true.
Yeah, you're just going to keep scratching.
Or like you've got a mosquito bite, but you're acting like it's a pimple.
Exactly.
So you're putting tretinoin on a mosquito bite,
exactly.
but it's a pimple.
It's not the right remedy for the situation, and cheating is not the right remedy for your situation. I think, I always say when we get these dilemmas, which is often, you have to ask yourself whether you're in love with your partner. Are you still in love with that person? Because if you are still in love with that person, you can absolutely remedy the situation. You can absolutely make it work. It's just a matter of communication. It's just a matter of like really being open with what you want. Cheating is just not gonna. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be the answer. It's all it's gonna do is lead you down a path of many, many more problems. It's just going to add to your issues.
And it's never going to be the one time. You're not going to have sex with someone the one time, especially if it was great sex.
Exactly.
Think, I'm okay now. That's that itch.
Exactly.
Scratch. I'm not going to go back. You are absolutely going to go back.
And also forbidden, and it is going to be good because the thrill and the excitement of the forbidden sex is going to psychologically make you feel like it's better, even if it isn't. Do you know what I mean? And you're going to become so attached to that thrill-seeking side of things that inevitably you're just causing more problems for yourself. I think what you need to focus on is the relationship at hand. You've said that you don't want to leave your partner. He's a great dad. He's funny. He's all of these things. It sounds like the issue is that the sex is a bit mundane, and I don't think the answer to that is going to have sex with someone else.
Yeah, and also I know it might be annoying, but I think sometimes it's okay to play certain roles in a relationship. And my role is in this is that, especially when it comes to our sex life, I'm the one that does it. And I know it might be annoying that, why can't you do it sometimes? But I'm actually okay in being like, depending on what the person does for work, how the person deals with all of their other parts of their lives. I am the one here that's responsible for our sex being good. And I'm okay with that. That's the thing that I carry in the relationship. That's okay. That's okay for you to carry in that relationship, to be like, I'm the one that does this for us here. And why can't you just carry that, right? And I know you've been like, I've asked about head, but like, I don't know, keep asking, make him realize how serious this thing is. This is not just me being like, I'm horny, you know, like, no, babe, like, I don't feel satisfied. I don't feel satisfied, and this is actually a problem. And it's not just me moaning for the sake of moaning. Talk about it. And also, I don't know you, but dig deep. Do you have the spirit of self-sabotage in you?
Yeah, it sounds like
You've got a baby, 6-month-old that's perfect and beautiful. You've got a man that you say is perfect and beautiful. You have a lovely life. Is there any part of you that is trying to be like, I don't know, you feel like you're not deserving of this. You are trying to self-sabotage this. Really dig deep if that's something that you might have in you that will warrant you doing this. Because there is no way you're going to talk to your ex, have sex one time, wrap it up, and then you carry on with your lovely life. That will never happen. Because what it means now is that you even have a more recent thing for your wank bank.
Exactly.
At the moment, at least your wank bank, you're digging deep. You're digging to last week, you're digging to yesterday. And then, you know, it's accessible to me now. So why do I even need to go to wank bank when I can go to the real bank and withdraw the sperm that I want? Like, why would you just don't be like, fix what your issue is. Don't add more issue to your issue.
Exactly. I totally agree. And this whole thing of like, looking for excitement, you know, and like seeking it. So I get it. Like life can get mundane. I understand it. Like, do you know what? Yeah, for someone that's got a 6-month-old baby and life is boring already, like, seriously, like, do you know what? Shout out you. Everyone's like motherhood journey and stuff is
like, I'm busy.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But like, yeah, shout out you. But I just think again, like, sometimes where the answer isn't always to thrill seek outside of the home. Do you know what I mean? Like,
find the thrill in
Find the thrill at home.
Add the thrill to the home.
Add the thrill at home.
You make it spicy.
There's thrill at home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's thrill at home.
Make it spicy. You bring the sexual fantasies that you want.
You make it spicy.
Have a flat conversation. What kind of sex do you want to have? What kind of sex do you like? This is the kind of sex I like. And I think if it's like you've done all that, this person is not listening and you've had months of trying to work on it, okay, cool, we've got a bigger issue at hand, but fix the issue at home. The answer is not to find dick elsewhere.
Definitely not. Definitely not. And I know it's like, there's just that reoccurring advice of relationships naturally get like that. They don't have to. Like, if you're the kind of person that you can accept that actually we get comfortable in relationships, like it's not always going to be exciting. It is going to be a bit mundane. We're going to have highs and lows and you can live with that, cool. But if you're the kind of person that's like hell-bent on being, you're the kind of person that's hell-bent on having a relationship that's exciting, that's going to have to be on you. Because I think most people understand that naturally, the longer you get together, the longer you've been together, it naturally, that stuff dwindles, it declines, it's normal. And most people are happy to sit in that because they understand that's what comes with relationships. If you are the thrill seeker, you must create thrill. I think it's mad that people expect people that are just understand the complexities of relationships and how inevitably mundane they get to expect thrills from them. Do you know what I mean? If you want the thrill, stop seeking it and start creating it. Do you know what I mean? And start at home. I feel like everything has to start at home. And if you do all of that and your feelings start to change and then you feel like you're not in love with him, then right back, that's a whole different dilemma. But for someone that says, I've got no intentions of leaving.
I don't want to leave him. In fact, I want to marry him.
Exactly.
So in fact, I want this for life.
Exactly. You're talking about the
so
future. So
surely fix it before marriage and then you're there for life. Like,
exactly.
When you first started reading the dilemma, I thought, leave then.
Yeah.
And then I did the 6-month kid. Yes. So I actually love him. I don't want to leave him. I want to marry him. So I was like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
Because the option is you can go, but you don't want to do that. So fix it.
And if you don't learn to fix these things, it's always going to happen because guess what? The next relationship is going to hit this roadblock. The next relationship you get into, you're going to be excited and it's going to be fun and all of that in the beginning. And then you're going to get to the same place. If you don't learn how to tackle these issues in relationships whilst you're in them, whilst there's still hope, then moving on isn't always the answer. Do you know what I mean? So we're never going to advocate for you cheating on your partner.
And not this case anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Also,
not here.
I think in relationships...
If it was revenge now.
In relationships, is there a point you have to realise like what you're willing to sacrifice? To be like, okay, cool. Everything else is great. This thing, not so great.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be like, we can work on that thing. It's not all going to be perfect.
Everything can't be 100.
Yeah.
Some things are going to be 30. Some things are going to be 50. Some things are going to be 65s. Like, and if you have on average a nice number, then listen,
let's work on the things
you're
that
winning.
Are not there.
You're winning because everything is not going to be a level 10 in every single area. It just isn't. No one's perfect at the end of the day. So...
Hard agree. Next dilemma? Okay, please help. Hi girls, firstly I want to say congratulations to you both and all you have achieved. You're an inspiration to so many of us.
Aww.
And I've listened to every episode without fail, sometimes even twice. Thank
I love
you.
That for us.
Please read this as I literally have no one else to reach out to. Okay, so my dilemma. I've been in a relationship with a guy, let's call him Brad, for 3 years now. When I first met him, he was renting his own place with his friend. He had a decent job and was everything I could have ever wanted. Funny, kind, loving, and always up for doing fun stuff.
Okay.
I was fully in love with him, and a few months into the relationship, he was made redundant from his job and he had to move back to his parents' house whilst he found something new.
Okay.
Fast forward 7 months later, he still has not found a job and didn't really make any effort to look for one.
You said it's cozy here.
I like it at home. It was given red flags, but I ignored because I was in love with him. He wasn't broke and he still took me out on dates, paid for things, etc. as he was at home and not paying rent. He eventually got a job, which is a shit dead-end job that isn't going anywhere. And he has since moaned every day that he hates it, but is making zero effort to leave. So I started sleeping at his parents' house every weekend as he's not allowed to sleep at mine. This was fine at first until I started to notice he does nothing around the house. I mean, nothing, which is why he doesn't want to leave. His parents are elderly and he doesn't even wash his own plates. He leaves it in the sink, doesn't even rinse. The more I've picked up on this, the more I started to feel resentment towards him because what kind of person lets their elderly parents do everything for them? It's gotten to the point now where everything he says pisses me off. I challenge every word that comes out of his mouth and ask him why he does nothing around the house. And he says his mum enjoys doing it for him. She doesn't. But his parents won't say anything. The laziness in all aspects of life has made me get the complete ick. Bear in mind, I see him twice a week because I work full time and now it's become more of a chore than a relationship. Hard part is that he's a really lovely person and I have zero friends. By choice, don't feel sorry for me. I enjoy being a loner.
Okay.
But if I end things with him, it leaves me with no one. But that's not a good enough reason to stay, is it? Do I wait it out and hope he changes or am I waiting for something that will never happen? He's 31 and I'm 27, by the way. Love you girls and thank you.
Oh, this is an interesting one. I wonder if he was like that when he lived on his own.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not making excuses for him. That's gross. Do you know what I mean? Because there is something bigger about allowing your elderly parents to clean up after you that tells me that, like, I don't like that personally. But if he was when he was living on his own, was he a responsible adult? Was he cleaning up after himself? Was he doing all of those things?
Yeah, I think he's just gone home and reverted back to a teenage boy.
Right, exactly. Because for me, if that is the case, I get why that would give you the ick because it would definitely give me the ick as well. I don't know whether it's a break-upable offence because for me in my house, like, you can spectate what people do in their houses. Like I've realised, you know, people have different rules at what in their homes. If you were to come and live with me, that can't run. So I think what I would say to him is that, like, again, my advice is similar. If you're still in love with him and you think he's great, then I probably wouldn't break up with him over this. But what I would make clear to him is, like, if there's ever a world in which me and you live together, you know you can't live like this.
That this can't
like
run.
This cannot run living with me. Do you know what I mean? Your mum might put up with it and, you know, shout at her, but this will never run. In our household, you will contribute. You will clean up after yourself. I will not be doing it. So if you can put your foot down, because I don't know that I would necessarily stress out about what he's doing at his mum and dad's house. You're not going to be there forever. They've got their dynamic, and I don't know how I feel about people going in and, like, sort of, I don't know, overloading people with their opinions.
Does it say more about him as a whole, right? So I don't think it's just a house thing. I think it's that cool. But it's also you're lazy with trying to find a job. You complain about a job that you don't want to be at, but you don't do anything about it. So it's just telling me everything more about, like, you as a man. That, like, and also I think it's important to see how people react when things are not rosy. Like, as in, like, okay, things have not been how you want it to be. Cool. Do you have the bounce back ability? Like, where is your bounce back ability? Okay, you've lost your job, you've done this. Bounce back. As in, like, let me actually see you trying to bounce back. Okay, it might not be easy, it might be hard, but you're like, you've got yourself a job that you hate, and all you do is complain about it. You don't even try to find something else. You're just complaining. Like, you've sunk into the life of always complaining. And then you're at home, you're lazy, you don't wash plate, you eat, you just leave everything there for your elderly parents to do. So I don't know if it's just like just that, but it's what it says about you as a whole. And not just that you don't wash your plate at home. It's not that simple. It's a
bigger issue. For me, I wouldn't find any of that stuff attractive. Like, it would definitely, like, piss me off. But also, he sounds to me like one of those people that he's got a crutch. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got a crutch in his parents. He's clearly got a supportive home life. And whilst he is in this situation, he doesn't feel the urgency to do it because he knows that he's got this crutch, he's got a safety net in his parents, which essentially what good parents are there to do. I think you need to ask yourself what is important to you in this situation. For me, I do think the bounce back ability thing is actually a very good point.
Yeah, like,
because
come on.
and it does get boring, because I do like to give people grace to complain about stuff and just moan and be miserable, because it happens. And he did get a new job. So we've seen some bounce back ability because he did manage to get a job. For me, I'll be so real, I don't think I would end it with him over this, but I think it's something that's very personal, because everybody has their limits and what their boundaries are. If he's not the kind of person that you can't talk to and communicate your feelings with and hope that there's some change off the back of it, then walk away. If he's stubborn with this kind of, like, mindset that he's in. But I just see it as someone who is privileged. He's got parents that are willing to look after him. He's got a crutch. And
I think there's something in talking to him to be like, hey, babe, if you're not happy, let's see about you getting a new job. And then if it feels like they're caught upon trying to fix it and he's still adamant and this thing is actually really put you off him, then you could be like, you know what, I'm out.
And that's a really good point, because I do think, that in relationships, sometimes you're going to have to talk your partner up. I feel like sometimes we see bad things, we see bad qualities, and we see bad traits in people. And because of the society and the popcorn society that we live in, we're so quick to dispose of people. Everybody has faults. I don't care who you are. No one is perfect. If his thing is this, again, of course, like, there's boundaries and there's limits, but everyone is going to come with their faults. So I don't think there's anything wrong with talking your partner up and just being like, okay, you've got to be Mr. Motivator now. Like, come on, let's get it. What are we doing? It's time to fix up, and be like a support system for him. If you don't want to do that, then don't do it. But I just feel like it is something that happens in every relationship. So I don't think I would end the relationship based off of this personally, if it were me.
Random question, kind of on topic or not. When you go to a friend's house and you eat, do you wash plates?
I always offer, but a lot of the time I'm told no. I remember one time, so you know my friend that used to make me walk her home,
Yeah.
So one time I went to her house and I'd eaten and I went to wash my plate and I was washing my plate and she came over and she was like, don't wash the plate. And I was thinking she was going to be like, you're a guest. She was like, you're going to make me look bad. She was like, my mum's going to start saying that I don't do it because I never do the dishes in my house. Blah, blah, blah. But I always offer, it depends on whose house it is. If I go to your house, I'm washing up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because there's certain people's houses I feel comfortable in. It's like my home.
Yeah.
And then there's other people's homes that I would offer, but I probably know deep down I'm not going to do it.
Some people's home, I will take the plate to the kitchen and open the tap.
Yeah, exactly.
And hope they're saying, what are you doing? Don't be silly. Don't worry, I won't be silly and I'll leave it there and I'll walk away. But I would always the acts that I'm going to wash a plate will
Yeah.
always be there.
Yeah.
The only place I'm actually less likely to wash a plate is at my sister's.
Yeah,
So I can't be bothered, man. You wash it.
Same. I'll just even leave it on the side. Like anywhere that is like really
Because
genuinely
family, like,
really
please.
feels like home, I would
Someone
either
else wash
feel
it.
comfortable to just leave it,
Yeah.
or I would probably just do it and then maybe I'm doing all the dishes for the night or whatever. I don't know, but yeah.
The
pretty
worst is
much.
when you go there, like, and there's no other plates in the sink. You're like,
Oh my god!
I can't
What is the
wash
etiquette
yours.
on that? I'm sorry, I can't.
You have to wash
this-
everything. You have to. You have
Where's
to.
my dishes?
It's either you leave it there
Yeah.
and add yours to it, or you wash everything. I think you can't just wash yours.
You can't just wash yours. That's mad.
can't.
But the thing is, what I will always do is take my plates to the kitchen, make sure it's fully emptied, and at least put it in a presentable way. Do you know what I mean? Like baseline. But yeah.
Yeah, because the reason why I don't wash my sisters, I'm like, it's one of the kids' chores.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I've
I'm
waited my
taking this
whole
away
life for someone to come
for
and wash
someone
my
else.
plates. I've
It is
paid
their
my
turn.
dues.
I paid my chore dues. All right, next dilemma.
Next dilemma. Okay, cool.
Let's go.
Hi, girls.
Hello.
I found your podcast during a time when my closest friends and I had all moved across the country. We're now about 3 hours apart when it used to be 3 minutes.
Aw.
Your podcast really feels like I have friends by my side, so thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
I'm not sure this is a dilemma since I know deep down what I should be doing, but I can't seem to act on it.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm being pretty toxic and I know it. I can't stand our friend's wife.
Oh.
My partner and I have a friend, Ryan, who's newly married to Lily. They just had a beautiful wedding abroad, a baby on the way, have a massive house, a brand new car, and regularly take trips abroad, and is all courtesy of Ryan's parents.
Sounds lit.
Over the past few years, we've seen things that show how controlling she is. She won't let Ryan spend time on his own hobbies like sports or gaming and doesn't allow his family over despite them paying for everything.
Huh?
It's been creating distance between friends and family, and now any social invites from us are usually declined with weak excuses. I regularly catch myself thinking about how Lily is so boring, controlling, manipulative, or a gold digger. I'll look at her Instagram daily, work out where her expensive clothes are from and how much they cost, and sit there seething for no reason.
Girl,
stop going
I'm
on
going
that
to need
lady's
you to
page.
get a life.
Ryan has never directly stated that Lily is a bad person, and they seem happy despite what we know. I think I've been holding on to this idea of Lily being the bad guy to make myself feel better, and obviously a lot of it comes from jealousy.
Okay,
or at least you acknowledge it, yeah. My fiance and I both work 2 jobs to save somewhere to live, and we're getting there, but I can't help but feel like we are the budget version of them. I'm not envious of my other friends who have lovely lifestyles, but with her, it feels different. It somehow doesn't feel justified or deserved. I know I need to find peace with what I have and stop comparing myself to others, but I can't break this cycle. Do you have any book recommendations, self-help techniques, or strategies that can help me change my inner monologue? I really want to let this go for good.
Okay, do you know what? I'm very proud of you for realising
Yeah,
that
exactly.
it's a you
You've got a
thing
problem,
and it's
yeah.
not a her thing. I think the conversation around jealousy is always very interesting because I think what's good about jealousy is that it shows you what you want. And this girl, Lily, has what you want. She has the nice house, the holidays and whatever. And it's annoying for you because you don't think she's a great person or because in your mind, she hasn't worked hard for those things.
Earned it, yeah.
So like, why does she get those things? And here I am, me and my fiance, we're working double shifts, we're trying to get a life, whatever. And unfortunately, it's one of them things that you need to take it up with God. It's like, as in like, you can't spend your time thinking, why does this person have and I don't have? I come to, like, it's just, there's no answer for it. Like, as in, all you can do is focus your energy onto you having. Like, you watching her Instagram every day, trying to figure out where her clothes from. It's not going to add joy to your life. In fact, I don't even think there is a book or it's something you have to change in your own head. It's something you have to work on, right? Like, I'm glad that you acknowledge that it's a bad thing to do, but no book is going to tell you stop it and you're going to stop it. There's no like incredibly wise line or one line hitter that's not going to suddenly make you stop being jealous or chasing after someone else's life. The effort you put into seeing what she's wearing and what she's doing, put it into your own life. Heck, if it helps, mute the girl. If it helps you to not have to go and be deep in dark thoughts, mute her so you don't have to see her content. Like, maybe that will make things easier for you. But it's something that you really have to wake up and be like, what am I doing?
And one thing I've had to learn to do as well is to not like kind of justify negative thoughts or envious thoughts I have of people by thinking, oh, well, you know, by putting a negative spin on it.
They're not happy anyway.
Yeah, they're not happy anyway,
not
or they
happy
didn't earn
anyway.
it. Like, things like that, I don't even think that that's a good place to work.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have to prey on someone's downfall or secretly hope that something secretly bad is happening to them in the background. For some people just have nice things and they just have good things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And yeah, she may not be your cup of tea, but that is Ryan's cross to bear.
Yeah.
That really isn't your issue. I think so long as he is seemingly happy, then that's all that matters. I think
you not like him doesn't mean she doesn't deserve of nice things.
Exactly. This is this man's whole ass wife at the end of the day. And I think that you need to not hyperfixate so much on their relationship, because it's going to drive you crazy. And like Tolly said, there's no pill you can take, there's no book you can read. You just have to stop. And I think this is one of those things in life where it's like, unfortunately, there isn't a crutch or an aid for everything. Sometimes it is just mental strength that you have to just apply mental strength to certain situations and just be like, this is not good. You clearly don't feel good in these feelings, otherwise you wouldn't have written the dilemma in. Kudos to you for acknowledging that it's jealousy, because if you didn't say it, I was going to say
tell
it.
you that,
Do you know
girl?
what I mean? But
Yeah.
luckily you've acknowledged that it's jealousy, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is a normal emotion to feel, but it's always what you do with it after.
And I think the jealousy, okay, but you have to find yourself not doing loser shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know people try to make it cool to be a hater. It's disgusting.
It's bad.
It's actually a disgusting. Stop being a loser,
Mm.
man. Like, stop it. Like, what do you mean I'm going on your page and I'm calculating how much your things are costing?
You're invested.
Yeah, like, stop it. Like, it's
invested.
actually like you have to call yourself out for bullshit like that. Like, what am I doing?
100%.
Like, it's not that deep. Let me shake this off and carry, like
exactly.
Focus on your own life.
Focus on your own life. And
focus on your own life. Stop comparing your life, because you're never going to be happy.
Exactly. And you're not going to have her life. Like, you're not going to have her life, because that is her life. That is her destiny. That is her calling. I just think, you just need to channel your energy into something better. And I think every time you look at that, you're fueling these reasons to dislike her. And at the end of the day, this is your husband's best friend's wife. Like, you don't have to have a relationship with her, but I wouldn't go out seeking more reasons to dislike this person, because this is someone that's going to be in your life until further notice. Do you know what I mean? And you didn't mention that she'd actually done anything to you. This is all commentary based off of what you perceive to be happening in their relationship. From what you've said in the email, this girl's done nothing. You don't actually really have a reason to dislike her.
And also, it's like, it's Ryan's family's money. That would even give me peace. I was like, lucky.
Exactly. If that.
Yeah,
because sometimes I feel shitter because I feel like, damn, someone really works. What they're doing. Do you know what I mean?
What's wrong with me?
But when it's kind of handy to someone, and again, I guess that kind of contradicts what I was saying, but you know what it is. So there isn't really a reason to have this like deep-rooted jealousy for this person. But I genuinely think that you're not doing yourself any favours by being disinvested in her life.
Yeah, don't be a loser, man.
Yeah, don't.
I honestly find
yourself.
that whole like being so invested in someone's life and like critiquing them and finding out what they cost and things like that. And I'm just like, stop it.
Yeah,
like,
and she probably is really happy and living a good life. There isn't like,
it was so ugly.
That happens sometimes in life where people just are living good lives. There isn't some secret sadness in the background or some madness. Do you know what I mean? Like some people just live good lives.
Right, next dilemma.
People or not. Next dilemma.
Okay. Hey, ladies. Thank you for providing this platform. It's a bit of a long one, so I'll try to keep it concise, as I want a second opinion. I've been dating this guy for almost a year. He's 30 and I'm 25. He's the best boyfriend I've had so far for many reasons, but there was a few red flags that have made me question what we have. Early in our relationship, after we made it official, I accidentally found a photo album and a separate picture from his previous relationship. When I was looking for something in his apartment, 2 different girls, let's call the first Lucy and the second one Susan.
Okay.
So she found a photo album with pictures of Lucy and Susan.
Okay.
I know that people keep memories, but the fact that it was different girls and I was able to find it easy made me feel uncomfortable, as this is the first thing I do when I break up with someone is get rid of the pictures. Yeah, like you do. Who doesn't? Specifically, if the person I'm currently dating might be able to see them. I confronted him about the time, he apologised and we moved on. I can't help but find it weird that he still follows one of his exes on Instagram, Lucy, who he dated before Susan.
He
claims that they never ended in bad terms and they are just friends. At first, it didn't bother me as I didn't know where this relationship was going, but now it's getting pretty serious as we have been living together for months. I am trying to be mature about the whole thing and not tell him that it bothers me, as I know this will make me sound insecure. I don't know how to tell him that keeping Lucy in the picture really bothers me, because this is not the person he ever sees in person, nor is it the same friendship group. I just don't see a reason why you should keep an ex on socials, especially when he doesn't even follow that many people. That's why it was easy to stalk. Up until a month ago, he still had a picture of them together posted on her main, which made him feel weird about the whole thing. I don't know how often they talk as I don't bother to check his phone, but I assume she might be an important person in his life if they haven't unfollowed each other after 3 years. The question is, would you ladies say something if it were you in that position? Or would you just leave it and try to enjoy the relationship knowing this is probably just nothing? I don't want to risk what we have by making a deal out of nothing or if I'm overreacting. I just need a second opinion from outsiders. So this is long and sounds silly.
Do you know what? It's really hard because I'm not someone who I don't really feel a way about things like that.
I'm so sorry. When you said it's hard, this is so silly to me. Not to demean what you're going through. They don't talk. They don't see each other in real life. They're not in the same friendship group. It's just, do you know the random people that I have that I've been following for years because we were in year 9 science together?
The follow thing, I cannot lie to you. Like, the thing is, when you really unpack what a follow means, it actually just
doesn't
means
mean
nothing.
Anything.
Because whatever fears you have attached to them following each other, they can still be applied once we're all on this meta universe. Do you know what I mean? Like once you have socials, if he wanted to DM her, whether he's following her or not, he could DM her.
There.
If he wanted to do anything, he could still... The follow aspect actually makes no difference. It's no difference, if anything. I think it looks more innocent. Again, and I don't want to discredit what you're saying because I understand why it would make you feel insecure and stuff like that. I'm not trying to discredit. I just want you to know that it's not a big deal so that you don't
because
lament
some
on
people
it
would
too much.
argue that like, well, if it's not a big deal, but because it makes her insecure, why can't you unfollow her? But I just
it's not a big deal.
I don't think it's worth putting that like discipline. Not like I'm going to need you to unfollow this person because it doesn't matter. You, it's not like you're like I found DMs of them talking and they still communicate. They don't communicate, and it's someone like you said, we didn't end up on bad terms. What would be the point of being like, okay, let me unfollow her? It doesn't irk me.
Fiesta.
Okay, she had a picture on her profile because that was her man, but you said that she's taking that off. So it's not even like she's been inappropriate or
and it was
weird,
in her profile,
not his. Like it's one of those like, and even. I think it's a deep you have your own insecurities via this. Whatever's happened maybe in your past or maybe you think relationships should be a certain way. Because even if I saw a physical picture of my man and his ex, okay. Like
it gives old school to me.
It doesn't, it's like, okay. Like it doesn't mean that you I think I probably have physical pictures of me and my ex because I just have a bunch of pictures from a certain time in my life. And he was in that. And because we broke up doesn't mean I'm not going to rip up all of those pictures and act like it wasn't. This was a part of my story. It has nothing to do with me still wanting to be with that person. But hey, look what I look like then. This is what my ex looked like. That's like saying, if you break up with someone, I'd expect my person I'm with to delete every picture of him and the person on their phone. Not really.
No, I wouldn't.
Not really. I wouldn't. Like, it's like, why? Like, it's not that deep. Like,
I just don't think about stuff like that. I really don't. Like, I'm so big on like, I'm going to trust you until you give me reason not to. And like, I would rather focus on things that actually matter because it gets to a point where I think that you create secrecy when you're not relaxed, not relaxed, but when you don't have trust in your relationship, it kind of just like enables people to feel like they have to hide things from you. I really like to have an open door policy in my relationships, whether that be like platonic relationships, romantic relationships. Let me give you the grace of saying that I trust you so that you know that this is a safe space. I don't want to create a liar. I don't want to create secrecy. And I think that when you hyper-focus on things that in the grand scheme of things are nothing, you're actually setting yourself up for them to hide the bigger things.
And even the fact that the pictures were something you could find. You didn't even hide it.
Exactly. Like, so this is no secret. Yeah, this is no secret. They're here. They're here. And I think that his transparency is very telling. Again, I get it. You know, and I definitely think that a lot of this is deep rooted within you.
It's a you thing.
And
I not even in a bad way.
Yeah, not in a bad way because we all have it and I get it. And I just think maybe you're projecting onto him a little bit. But until he gives you reason, just enjoy your relationship, trust him, and just listen. And shit is gonna happen. It's inevitable, but don't sweat the small things. Don't
you guys are still gonna have issues. Like it's still gonna be.
Trust me, there's bigger things to come. So
then also, I feel like sometimes when you fixate on the small things and you comment on every problem, now it's like.
Exactly.
You have the same reaction to everything. Now you're just a general moaner, not that you actually have landing points. Again, this is not someone he sees. They're not in the same friend. There is nothing actually attached them together outside of an Instagram follow. If you think me and half the people I follow have any kind of attachment together, we don't. I think I've still got exes that I follow.
Exactly. a lot of people still says least interacted with, you know, on that Instagram thing.
Like you're still
they're
like,
just
you're just
there. They're just there because they just are, because it's just a lot of ag to go search for. I just think you're just creating a bigger thing by making him go and delete her and all of that. It's just not needed. She's clearly dormant in these follows, and I just think that you should just let it go, personally.
Yeah, and like just stop looking for the problems in your relationship.
I feel like you're looking
I think you're
for
kind of
problems.
a little bit looking.
Yeah, I agree.
But if it's really bothering you, maybe you have a chat with him and be like, hey, this is really concerning me. But it's something that I would live my life.
I would bank all
Yeah.
because the shit is inevitable. Okay, next and last.
Let's go.
Hey girls.
Hello.
I must start by singing your praises.
Let's hear it.
You guys are such a blessing. I've written in before and you helped me with the best advice and I was able to get myself out of a sticky situation.
Hey.
Keep doing what you're doing because you're changing lives for real.
Go us.
On to my dilemma. I met this guy on Hinge and we hit it off pretty quickly and I ended up inviting him to mine a few days later.
Let's go.
He was honestly amazing. We slept together. The sex was okay, but he didn't last very long.
Okay.
You could tell he was quite excited.
Okay.
I can tell he's really into me and maybe that's why. I could possibly get over that and give it another chance as maybe the next time we might get better. Anyway, the sex wasn't terrible. It's just he had a smell. It's hard to describe, but it wasn't pleasant. Even though he was wearing cologne, I could still smell it. It came from his pores and his mouth. It's his unique body odor. Because I like him, I could recommend we could go on a spa date so maybe it would help.
How?
And tips on oral hygiene. But the smell was quite strong and I can just tell his whole house would smell like it too. He ticked so many boxes. Good sex, although it was short, we could possibly work on that. He has a lovely character, a great sense of humour. I really like the way he likes me. We spoke for hours and into the next morning. Since we met, we've been getting on really well. We've been getting on really well and he's keen to see each other again. It's just a shame he kind of stinks. It's too soon to tell him, but even then I wouldn't know what to say. Do I just leave the situation as a whole? Because honestly, I can't be with him if he smells like that. Plus, I find it really awkward having to say something. I would like to know your thoughts and any advice on how to tackle the issue. Lots of love.
You know where I stand with these kind of things.
Tell him.
If it's not too soon to fuck you, it can never be too soon. I honestly stand on if I can sleep with you, there's not much I can't tell you.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, as in, because that is such an intimate thing for me to do. Everything else is not that intimate.
Yeah.
If I could sleep with you and be intimate with you like that way, I could be like, and it's never going to be easy to tell someone they
conversation
smell.
Ever.
Like, no matter if it's your sister, your mom, your auntie, your boyfriend, like, it's never going to be easy to be like, yo, blah, 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 blah. And also, it might even be a thing you tell him and he's ashamed and he never talks to you again. This is even easier. But what I would say it by message. I'd be like, hey, I really hope you don't mind me saying this, but when we had sex, I did notice there was a smell. And yes, it's embarrassing, but as soon as you send it, you flip your phone over and it's no impact. I will send it airplane mode. And I'll just give it like the cringe to leave my body. And then I will go see if he replies. But you are helping that person.
I mean, you're helping yourself if you like him.
That moment of embarrassment will be fine if it fixes and you can be with someone that you like that doesn't stink.
Short-term pain for long-term gain. I think because you do like him, I do think you owe it to yourself. Like, you even have to reframe it. Like, you're doing this for yourself.
Yeah.
Because you even want to be putting up with that. That's long. And it's really annoying when you come across someone and then suddenly you're burdened with this responsibility. You're just out here smelling fresh. Now, all of a sudden, you've got this big conundrum hanging over your head. But I just think, listen, we've been here long enough now. But also, I'm curious to know, because she thinks his house might smell of it. I want to know if this is an internal thing or if this is an external thing. Because if it's from within, then child.
So it's his pores.
Yeah, so it's literally from within.
Yeah, I don't know what causes pores. I don't know. I
think that's long. I think it's a long time thing. I think it's when you're not showering for a long time.
Yeah, and it's like, and also you don't, if you like, even if it doesn't work with you two, at least for the sake of humankind, you've helped
you've helped society
not have to deal with that smell. Again, it doesn't have to be a face-to-face thing. And again, you can pad it with, hey, I know this is really awkward, but I just had to say anything. I just had to say something because, you know, it's just important. Things like this are important to me.
Send him a TikTok of someone else.
No. I've just noticed there was like a bit of a smell when we were intimate. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but it was just important for me to say because obviously I do like you and I would like to be intimate again, but I don't want to have to go through that shit.
Even if you have to really pad their ego.
I think you're amazing. Blah, 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 blah.
There's just
but
one thing.
Thing.
There's just this one thing, and I'm saying it because I care. Just really pad it with love.
And is it going to be nice? No, he's gonna be mortified.
But hopefully he is so ashamed that he fixes up.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And it's an issue that is tackled quickly, because if this is the difference between you actually wanting to pursue something with him and not, like, it would be a shame to let it go because of this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Just be kind with your words.
Yeah, just be kind.
But say it. I'm not a bear and grin it kind of person. Say it. I think it's worth saying.
Oh my God, yeah.
Someone's told me that my breath smelled like red wine before and I went to go brush my teeth.
That's all. I mean, it's really not that deep. And a lot of the time, I think with guys especially, it's not even them. Sometimes it's like their bed sheets.
By the way, it's because I was drinking red wine. My breath
doesn't generally smell like red wine for no reason. Sometimes it's their bed sheets, it's their towels. Do you know what I mean? It's things like that. So I would also include that, because sometimes they will go and shower, because you can watch a guy shower and you're like, but then why is the smell there? The smell's still there. It's because your bed sheet stinks, sir.
Yeah.
It's because your towel hasn't been washed.
Smelly.
Your clothes, use, what's that thing? Fabric conditioner. Do you know what I mean? Fabric, like the extras in life. But men, sometimes not all men are they're not
and
really
they think
privy
they can
to
just
stuff like
throw
that.
on perfume over
exactly.
it. And like, you can't sometimes.
Yeah.
You have to do the inner work.
Have we said it here before? Sometimes you need to change your deodorant because you just become almost like
sometimes change.
It becomes
your body
accustomed.
becomes,
like, almost rejects it because you are so used to it. Like, switch it up. Like,
because there is sometimes I quite like a sweat smell.
Yeah, I don't mind a pheromone.
Yeah. That shit gets me guffed.
That's masculine shit.
That pheromone can get me going. I quite like
it. Smells like it has to smell like a hard day's work. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it is, really. I like that you've worked.
A hard day's work. Like, I'm not mad at it. Like, you've had a long day. Like, I don't mind that. That's masculine. But that other scent, I don't know about that. And the breath thing.
The breath thing I cannot take.
That will just give me the ick on every single level, because how am I kissing you? Ew. Oh man, we'll always get a smelly dilemma. Always get a smelly dilemma.
A tell as old as time. My nigga stinks.
Exactly. My girls stink, my guys stink. But yeah, tell him. It's the only way. As a society, if anyone else that has got a dilemma like this, there's someone near and dear to you who isn't smelling fresh, just tell them.
Do you remember we were talking about it when we was in Manchester? And shout out to those aunties. I don't know about anybody else, but I remember being a teenager and an auntie came to the house and she came to talk. I remember she came to the house. She went home. She came back the next day and she bought deodorant and things like that. And she sat us down and she said, "Hey girls, you're at an age now. You need this. And I've done it to cousins and because like, hey, you're at an age now. Because sometimes I feel maybe your mum doesn't sweat it because she's always there.
Always there, yeah.
Because I've done it to me, like I've gone to like one of my little cousins' room and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, like, this is a new smell.
What is this?
It's a new smell.
And then you take it as your opportunity as your auntie to be like, okay, here's deodorant, here's this, here's this.
The time has come,
never forget the auntie that did it. She literally, let's say she came on Saturday. And I know that she left, she thought, I'll be back in this house. And the Sunday she came, girls, this is what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Here were the things. Here's how you look after yourself and your body and your smells. And I've always shout out to them people that do that, man.
And I think sometimes our parents infantilize us because they're like, I'm not ready to have that
they're
conversation.
Still children.
Because they think it's like attached to like, oh, now I've got to have the bees and birds.
Yeah.
No, but that's a whole different thing. Like, you know, the hygiene thing when you start to hit puberty. And not everyone's taught that in their homes.
And the young girls are starting it.
Oh, they're starting it earlier
Kids
and earlier.
Yeah, from like 7 years
they're
old.
having like big people's BO at a very young age now. So, we
and that strong adolescent BO.
Oh, that adolescent one is mad, especially the teenage boy one.
Oh,
that 12 to 13.
The smell of the boys' changing rooms.
It was potent. I can smell it now.
Oh my God.
It smells like sweaty socks and wet dreams.
Like disgusting. And then on top of it, they've now put Shore Africa.
Oh my God, Links Africa on top of it. And Versace Red Jeans. Get out of here, man.
Links Africa, Versace Red Jeans. Like, it's disgusting upon this. Like, till this day, Links Africa makes me sick because it's always linked to VO for me.
Yeah, same. And
do
the
they
other
still
one.
sell Links Africa?
Old Spice. Yeah, they definitely
do.
They? Yeah, the advert for that was...
What was the advert?
I swear it was quite beastly.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It was like zebras and shit running across the screen. Like, what the hell has that got to do with deodorant, sir?
what I was thinking about the other day. Okay, so this is all relative. So do you remember last week I was saying about having been to a good party in ages? I went to a very, very good party, had a great time. Went to a birthday party, it was sick. Great time, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, they had a whole set of Funky House. They started making me think about other Funky Houses songs. So I was talking to someone and I was just like, oh yeah, I remember Funky House. And then I started thinking about Deneo's African Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh.
Rolling with my stick in my hat.
And the dance was, I'm an African warrior, rolling with my stick in my hand. I'm an African warrior, rolling with my stick. And then you went down and just, I'm an African warrior.
Like some tribal shit.
With the fucking tribal shit in our hand.
Yeah.
Where's Denea from?
I'm pretty sure he's Caribbean. I actually don't know, you know.
Better be of
He
African descent.
might actually be of African descent. I've got no idea.
But yeah, is that something problematic?
Do you know what? A lot of things are problematic now, isn't it?
But does
like, we used to dance to Arab Money. Do you know what I mean? That's probably quite problematic. And even the other one, I'm not even going to sing it because I think it's problematic.
Oh, I'll whisper it.
And it's Arab Money. It's the same song.
You're getting Arab money.
Yeah. But you know when it goes into like and it's got like someone from that lineage talking, that singing. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I might be completely wrong. Like, but it feels inappropriate. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not going to do it.
Do you know what's making me think?
The
Jay-Z song where he's talking about the Asian girl he used to date.
Oh, when he's
girls,
yeah. Excuse me, Miss Fufu, but when I met you where she was there broken naked and now you want half, that's when he's talking about the African girl.
And then when he talked about the Asian girl,
what did he say about the Asian girl?
Oh, all you do is treat me like, why did I do that? I'm so sorry.
I love girls.
I do adore. Now put your number on this paper because I would love to date and have the numbers when you... Wait, what did he say? Now put your number when I go on tour.
When I go on tour.
That's it.
But
yeah, holler at him whilst he goes on tour. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have any dilemmas, please do email us on
dilemmas@thereceiptspodcast.co.uk.
That is
dilemmas@thereceiptspodcast.co.uk.
And remember, you can now watch us on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, please do. When you do, like, subscribe, whatever. We're currently in we want to get to 10,000. When YouTube movies, I'll be very honest, right? It feels very weird to be starting something from the beginning
I know,
again.
it proper does.
When I look at our views, I'm like, oh my God.
New kids in
but
school.
I know that's not the truth of what it is because we're on a new platform.
Exactly.
But it's taken me a minute.
Same. I'm just
and my ego.
I'm like, what do you mean 150 views?
I'm
not used to these kind of 3-digit numbers, honey.
It's taken my ego a minute to be like, hun,
I'm used to 6-digit numbers.
Wow.
But our stuff is spread.
Sometimes when Spotify tells us a stat, I know you're fucking kidding.
I know.
People like 500,000 downloads on a weekly basis.
The maddest thing
which is the lowest time
when we saw our Wrapped.
Yo.
That was insane, especially because it was so it was dope. Like, it was such a dope virtual experience. We saw it in this big wall. It was lit. But the first episode back, I will never forget that.
What was it? Was that plus?
It was 732% increase in January 2024.
And even the increase this has been us two has been
exactly
100%.
It's been through the
over
roof.
100% of them.
It's crazy.
So yeah, it's weird to now see a YouTube and be like, oh my God,
I feel like
but it's fine. We're just starting.
We're growing.
Yeah, it will be all good.
We're growing.
But yeah. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And please subscribe to our YouTube.
Please do like, share, subscribe, comment, all of the good stuff.
I've been your girl, Tolly T.
And just call me Audrey.
Bye.